Education. It's the cornerstone of a productive, communicative, and healthy society. Over the past few decades, mainstream education ideas have sparsely evolved as the adage, "if it's not broken, don't fix it," has seemed to reign supreme. This may be a comfortable philosophy for the majority of parents and students, but there are those students that simply do not engage well within the traditional learning models commonly employed. Many students gravitate towards the arts to stimulate their minds and enhance their ability in order to better engage in the process of learning and understanding. Furthermore, a good number of our young people are defined as being learning disabled or complex learners and are not a fit for traditional education parameters. Today we explore the alternative strategies, options, trends, technologies, and new ideas slowly but surely making their way from the classrooms of our preschoolers to those of our adolescents. Hey Calgary, I'm Kevin Chorty. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm joined tonight by Keith Vandermeer, the principal at Runnel Academy, and by Amarisa Gunning. You're from Lifetree Educational Enterprises, owner-operator. Excellent. Thanks to you both for being here. Real quick, Amarisa, tell us a bit about yourself and your organization.
Yes. So, as you said, my name is Amarisa Gunning. I have been an educator for over 15 years now. I started when I came and moved to Calgary. I started at Kinderhouse Preschool, and it has evolved to offering recreational programs, and I've also extended it to a branch of teacher professional development, and particularly in the arts. So that's our focus.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. Thanks for taking the time.
Yes, you're welcome.
Keith, or Mr. Vandermeer, if you would, you're the principal at Runnel Academy. Tell us a bit about the school.
Well, Runnel Academy is a day school. It's an independent school for students in grades 4 through 12. And it's a specialized program because each one of our students, to be able to come to our school, has to have a diagnosed learning disability.
Okay. Okay, that kind of leads me to my first question then. What is the criteria, modern day, to essentially dictate who has a learning disability?
It's typically done through a psychological education assessment.
Yeah.
So they'll have to go see an educational psychologist, and they'll have a few tests done, and typically an intelligence test, the Wechsler Intelligence Scale for Children, will be done, and there'll be a marked discrepancy in the results. But essentially what it comes down to, what it boils down to, is that the child that has a learning disability will have an average to above average intelligence, but again have some kind of a discrepancy in their ability to retain, apply, or process information.
Is that a tough misconception, the fact that these students do have an average or above average level of intelligence, but maybe suffer from something like dyslexia? Do you think there's that stigma that is kind of attached to these students unfairly?
Yeah, and I think the name, does a lot already to begin with.
Yeah, very true.
There's a lot of presupposition to what disability means, and yeah, so what these students need and what our program's able to offer is the opportunity to teach to their strengths and their abilities, and that's when you start to see them shine.
What's a better term then? Is it complex learner? Do you think that's fair?
I think that's a great one. Learning differences is one we like to use a lot, and what I appreciate most is one of our alumni coined the phrase "take the dis out of learning disability."
Yeah, that's good. I like that as well. So then how does the program at Runnel Academy differ from traditional learning disability programs offered within the Calgary public education and Catholic education systems?
I think, well, first and foremost, let's start at class size. Our elementary program, our grade 4 through 6, has an average size of 8 students per teacher.
Wow,
yeah.
That's a huge reduction.
Sorry, 6. Yeah, even better. Junior high 8 and senior high 10.
Incredible.
Yeah, so that's where it starts. It's being able to really personalize that educational experience. Yeah. So one advantage our teachers do have, which is getting to know our students really well, getting to know their strengths, getting to know their areas of improvement, and being able to focus exactly on what they need in the classroom and appeal to each individual student as a learner.
It makes sense. I think it goes a long way, especially when you consider, in the public system, not necessarily, I can't really speak to some of these, I guess, complex learning or learning disability programs that they have, but the average classroom size in Calgary now is well over 30 students, I think, for a high school. Clearly the benefits of smaller classrooms are pretty evident to see. I've got to ask you, Amarisa, pardon me, the arts. I know you've got a passion for educating young people when it comes to the arts. Why is it that, or how, I guess, are arts so important to a child's development, whether it be music, traditional
ink, pencil, painting? How?
So the arts speak to our human values, and they support our students in making meaning through different engagements. And one of the things about the arts that are strategically wonderful for the teacher to engage and utilize in the program is that it incorporates both the intellect and the affect, the emotions. So the cognitive, the emotional, as well as the kinesthetic. So children have the opportunity to enter the curriculum through multiple points, entry points, and be successful. And that's what the arts do for our youngsters. They are able to represent themselves, make meaning, and be excited, have that enthusiasm for learning.
It's important to have an enthusiasm for learning, I would think. Is this something that's stressed at the Runnel College as well?
Yeah, of course.
Runnel Academy, forgive me, pardon me.
Of course, I mean, it starts obviously with the educator, but again, it is appealing to the individual and where their interests lie. I mean, you're not going to be able to get that effect if you're not connecting with them where they're at. And so again, really finding their interests, their strengths, and appealing to those things is really important in today's education, I feel.
So then, Amarisa, who are your students? Are these just families that have predisposition to the arts? I mean, who's coming into your classroom?
Actually, my students are varied. I appeal to the entire community, so I don't necessarily have students who are looking for the arts necessarily. What I've done in my program is to focus deeply on developing knowledge in the various disciplines, but then integrating the arts and integrating really any approach, any paradigm that is supporting student learning and motivating students, and again fostering that enthusiasm. But the difference, I think, lies in our approach to focus on deep knowledge, because it's when we engage in that deep learning in any particular subject, any particular disciplines, then the children are able to activate interest. How do we know what our students are interested in if we do not provide them a plethora of activities or having that access and vehicle for tools and processes so that they can totally engage and interact and have dialogue and discourse and construct learning and knowledge together? But they don't know that, oh, I do love music, if we are not providing music. Exactly. As you say, the exposure.
That's a great point. I want to hear more about that. We are going to jump to a quick break, folks. Stay with us.